Dragon's Dogma 2 is a game that people have been extremely excited for, and even before it released, it was in talks to become a Game of the Year contender, but unfortunately for Capcom, it has launched to overwhelmingly negative reviews because they decided to shadow drop microtransactions with its release. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, obviously, when it comes to $70 full-price AAA video game releases, you expect to know what you're buying, but unfortunately, with Dragon's Dogma 2, they decided to withhold the very small fact that there was going to be microtransactions with this game. This is a Windows Central article. It says, as I write this, Capcom's new action RPG Dragon's Dogma 2 is now officially playable on PC through Steam, and with the game slated to go live on Xbox and PlayStation console in just a few hours. This was posted last night, so this part isn't specifically correct. What was supposed to be an exciting and celebratory launch of the sequel that fans have been waiting for over a decade, though, has been marred by controversy. And this is a title so many people have been so excited for. It was supposed to be the game of the first half of 2024, only rivaled by Shadow of the Erdtree. And even before it released, people were saying this is probably going to be a solid Game of the Year contender, and it looks extremely good. But unfortunately, they didn't show us the whole entire picture before release because why is it surrounded in controversy? Microtransactions. When the game became available, a previously hidden suite of microtransaction purchases did as well. These include everything from the Rift crystals used to hire other players' pawns, to Art of Metamorphosis tomes required for changing your character's appearance, along with Wakestone revival items, Port Crystal fast travel points, one-use keys to escape prison cells, incense for editing a pawn's inclination, monster lures, and even special camping equipment that weighs less than normal gear, and they are all now visible on Dragon's Dogma 2's DLC page. And of course, these prices do definitely range, but they range from $1 to $5. In some cases, there are $2 items that are single use only. And this, of course, is ridiculous when you consider that this is a full price $70 video game. It's not like it is a free-to-play game where they're adding in some microtransactions, because I can let a lot of microtransactions go, especially if they're cosmetic only, but that is not the case with Dragon's Dogma 2. As you can see over on the Steam page, I mean, there are lists. If you were to buy even just one of each of these items, it would end up being $41, and a lot of these are items that you would be purchasing over and over. Now, of course, it is important to note that while the vast majority of what you can buy can be found in game, they are items that are extremely difficult to find. They cost a ton of Rift crystals to buy, or are only available in limited quantities. So basically, yeah, those Wakestones they talk about that you could use to bring an NPC back to life, microtransaction. You want to get your character out of jail, microtransaction. You want to change your character's appearance, microtransaction. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. And they actually tried to respond, but their response is also not being met with a lot of acceptance from players. People are furious at them because they basically say, well, you can technically get these items in game, so that's all that really matters. They put out this statement saying to all Dragon's Dogma 2 players, we would like to update you on the status of the following items about which we have received numerous comments from the community. They talk about how they are going to be investigating and fixing critical problems such as crashes and freezing, and they will be addressing crashes and bug fixes starting from those with the highest priority in patches in the near future, which is good that they're at least, you know, acknowledging the fact that they do still have some work to do. Of course, I don't expect any game to release 100% perfect, even though that is what the standard should be. As long as it's playable, that's what matters at this point. And I expect games to have a couple of bugs and glitches at launch. But they also say we are looking at adding a feature to the Steam version of the game that will allow players that are already playing to restart the game. So you can't even restart if you initially start a version of the game, which is ridiculous. But they also talk about the paid DLC and simply say all of the items listed below can be obtained in-game or as paid DLC items, and they list off everything. So they don't actually acknowledge the backlash. They just say, hey, you can also obtain these in-game, which, yes, you should be able to, but the problem is that they've lowered the rate in which you obtain them through gameplay naturally in order to sell them to you as microtransactions, which is complete and utter bullshit. This is a game that I have been super excited for, and I know so many people are still so excited for and are going to play, but unfortunately, we cannot ignore the fact that they did decide to add microtransactions, shadow add microtransactions, and of course, now the game is sitting, it's been, bouncing between overwhelmingly negative and mostly negative, but it's still a big fat negative for Capcom. And of course, this is Capcom, right? So I'm not very surprised that they did this, but I am extremely disappointed. They debuffed the drop rate of items in the game to make you feel backed into a corner like you have to spend money. It's just so disgusting. Hey, Capcom, you can purchase a good review DLC for $1.99. People joking about how, this is so ridiculous. It's honestly funny. People saying, I really want to like this game. I played the original on PS3. I bought Dark Arisen on PS3 when it came out. I got it again on PC and was hyped when it was finally announced. I expected jank. I expected some performance issues, but nothing that couldn't be handled with some tweaking of the settings. But unfortunately, this game, they're saying, is having a lot of technical difficulties, which again, yes, the developers did acknowledge that they are going to fix, but people are saying that it definitely has very shoddy optimization, at least on PC. I haven't seen as many complaints about the game technically when it comes to consoles, at least yet. Gonna keep it short. De novo, bad optimization, microtransactions, do not buy. It's just so sad to see that they shadow dropped microtransactions in a full price single player game. I'm so disappointed that this has happened and that they felt that this was an acceptable response, basically just saying, oh yeah, you can get these items through playing the game, because they know what they did. We know already what they did, which was debuff the drop rate. And of course, there are a lot of people already recommending it, saying, my first impressions are really solid. I'm really enjoying it, even though I'm only at the beginning, which is great because again, I wanted this game to be good, and I want people to be excited for new game releases, but it has become extremely hard to trust companies and to put your money towards a pre-order of a game and actually have confidence that you're going to get a full price experience. At this point, it will of course be interesting to see over the next couple of days for launch weekend how the backlash goes, if they continue to get absolutely pummeled or if they actually decide to turn things around, because if they did disable the cash shop and they up the drop rates of these items even today, all of this controversy would go away. People would give them another chance when it came to this game, but they would have to do it now, and I just don't necessarily think that's going to happen. Obviously, we can hope that that will happen. I will be starting my playthrough of this on Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I am going to be giving it a shot because it is, of course, one of the bigger game launches this year. So if you want to watch it, but you don't necessarily want to spend your money on it yourself, or you just kind of want to see another person's opinion before you buy it, make sure to stop by the live stream. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.